Good afternoon, everyone. It's absolutely wonderful to be here. Every year, I look forward to this event. Why is it important to me? First of all, I am a daughter. Secondly, I'm honored to be the president and CEO of Norquest College. And why is that important? Because 70% of our student population are women. We know that times have changed, and I think education is an example of that, participation of women in education. And I think we heard very clearly from Zarka, she had no choice in going on in her education. I think as well, having a very strong premier, a female premier, is another great indication of where our province and our community is going. But we have more work to do. Celebrating today is an important step. Celebrating the women who we will honor today to take forward their message in the community will continue to change our community and change opportunities for our daughters. Thank you everyone for being here today, and let's honor the lovely women of today.
We'd like to congratulate the 4th Annual Daughters' Day recipients. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Malja Najmi-Beauchamp, a resident of Fort McMurray, has been a compassionate listener and supporter for teens going through difficult times. Family breakdowns, bullying, and contemplation of suicide. It is through Malja's everyday small acts of kindness that her nominees best remember her for. Malja's notable smile, energy, and enthusiasm radiates throughout every interaction she has, whether through her work with the Canadian Mental Health Association or Mayor's Advisory Council, to name a few. Congratulations, Malja. I would like to invite you to come to the podium to accept your award and say a few words.
Can you guys hear me? Awesome. I'd like to thank the individuals who were a part of selecting, nominating, and arranging this award. I'm humbled by this award. This award proves that each one of us has the responsibility to give back to those who need the help, the care, the attention, support, and love. I hope that the younger generation would volunteer their time and make a difference in their community. The youth of today are enveloped in technology, video games, and their social life. If they could give 2 hours of their time to any cause or organization, the act of volunteerism would come to life. I'd like to sum it up by saying, to the world, you may be one person, but to that one person, you may be the world.
Over 30 years, Yessy, a first-generation Canadian, and daughter of Dutch immigrants, has fought tirelessly to improve the rights of labor workers. Since 2006, she's taken special interest in the cases of temporary foreign workers. Yessy is also an educator of law, takes on much pro bono work. Her long outstanding passion and commitment for upholding the rights and dignities of marginalized population continues to be noticed and congratulated. Thank you, Yessy, for your hard work. I would like to invite Yessy to come up to the stage.
Thank you. And thank you so much for this award. It means a lot to me. Thank you very much. And thank you for the extra 10 years or so that you've given me in the publication. I'm really not that young. But I'll take it. I want to say a few things. I'm very lucky to have been the daughter of two wonderful parents. My father taught me that girls could do whatever they wanted. And when I talked about being a nurse, my dad would say, that's good, you could be a doctor too. Or if I talked about being a stewardess, because my dad was a bush pilot, so flying's in there. If I talked about being a stewardess, my dad would say, you could be a pilot too. He taught me, and in fact, my sister became a pilot, and she's here today. My other sister was a truck driver, so obviously we exercised choices in my family. And my mother taught me something very important too. And basically the principle was you should seek to be of value, not to be a success. And my mother was of immense value for her family and for the human family too, through all the volunteer work she did in her life. And I'm very grateful for the example she gave me. She's here today, so she deserves the applause. I want to say one thing. The other thing my parents taught me was it really is all about respect for one another. And that's what human rights are about, is respect for other human beings. And I've been very troubled lately because I feel that we are losing some of that in our society. And the one thought I want to leave with you all is that for us to maintain and to gain human rights for all, we have to be ever vigilant. We cannot take our basic rights for granted. So together, I think we can make those changes and improve things. So thank you again.
Congratulations, Yessy. Kristina Guzman, a storyteller, artist, community connector. Kristina, a prospective and curious woman, has made it a lifelong mission to connect newcomers of all ages to local artistic opportunities. Watch her on 107 Avenue reaching out to the residents about their lives and penning next stories, or in Millwoods, the neighborhood she grew up in, and organizes an artistic showcases for residents. Kristina, your compassion from bringing to light the untold is admirable. I would like to invite Kristina Guzman to the podium to accept her award and say a few words.
Thank you so much. First of all, to the organizers. It's funny, Pushali, I remember, had actually approached me to be a organizer and help out with this event, and I turned it down because I was so busy. But I'm feeling so overwhelmed right now with just the support. You know, we're so busy these days. I know myself being involved in the community, I run around, so you know to have these awards, for someone to just take the time to recognize what you've done is so, I have deep appreciation for that. So I have to thank Amrita for taking the time. I have to thank Oliver. I saw him earlier today for also writing that letter of support. And to Ruben, Trina, Yasmin, Edmund, Beth, Doreen, I think I'm missing a few people who also put their names down for the nomination. You know, I grew up, just being curious about stories, because my dad, it's funny, I really relate to Zarka's keynote and also what Yessy said, because my dad pushed me to be an engineer, and I was, I actually considered it for 2 seconds, and I was like, I would, and then my mom was like, oh, you should be a speech language pathologist, and I was like, deep down, I prefer working, in the arts and culture sector. And my dad, he worked in the Middle East. I heard a lot of the stories he took with him from there. And so I was always curious to know about people. He said, every time you meet someone, no matter where they're from, find out a little bit about their country, because that's just a good way to connect with people. So a lot of the work I've done, and even my work at Edmonton Immigrant Services, has really shaped what I'm doing in the community. So thank you once again to the organizers for this, this great recognition for women in the community. Thanks again.
Congratulations, Kristina. My daughter would be so happy if she got to know you. My dad wanted her to be a doctor, and she said no, and she's working in Bollywood, so there you go. Sheliza is the founder of Children's Birthday Miracles, where her organization has organized birthday celebrations, complete with entertainment and presents for over 2,000 people, less fortunate children globally in Canada, Peru, Kenya, and Tanzania. Sheliza is also the recipient of the Stars of Alberta, Top 30 Under 30, Geolite Inspiration Award, and many more. Sheliza celebrates a child's most important milestone every day. Today, we celebrate this milestone with you. Sheliza, congratulations. I would like to invite you to come up to the podium to accept your award and say a few words, please.
Behind every remarkable daughter, there's an even more remarkable mother, and mine's standing right there. And behind every philanthropist in our community, there is a story that needs to be heard. On January 24th, 6 years ago, on my 12th birthday, I had a severe allergic reaction to my birthday cake. When I was admitted to the hospital, my parents explained to me that I was even lucky to have a birthday, and there were children out in the world that don't even get this opportunity because they live in low-income families. That peanut, that allergic reaction, and that conversation was the catalyst to my philanthropic endeavors. So thank you so much to the Daughters Day Committee for recognizing our contributions to the community. And if it wasn't for my parents telling me that despite my age, race, and gender, I had the power to make a difference, I wouldn't be standing here today. And I wouldn't be able to say that my charity Children's Birthday Miracles has spread joy in over 3,000 underprivileged children's lives, living in Africa, where my parents grew up, Peru, and our very own Canada. So today I encourage you all to thank your parents, thank your siblings, and thank everyone around you for believing in you and showing you the value volunteerism brings to this world. You wouldn't be who you are without all these people, so thank you.
Congratulations, Sheliza. You inspire us all. Our next recipient is a very dear friend of mine, and I'm so honored to be standing here. Karen Smith. Karen has worked tirelessly towards ending sexual violence against women and men. Karen has been an executive director for the Sexual Assault Center, SACE, for over 18 years. She's worked with survivors of sexual violence for over 22 years. She's always admired for her compassion and her strength. I don't know I feel it's a big loss for SACE and the city of Edmonton because she's finally decided to retire this year, late in October. But it is an honor for me to present the award of Daughter's Day to this outstanding and exemplary service to the Edmonton community. Thank you so much, Karen. Please come up and accept your award.
Mona has certainly been a friend of mine for quite a few years, and I certainly am honored to be here. I want to thank all of the Daughter's Day Committee for this incredible event to recognize the contributions that women make, to condemn the injustices against other women worldwide, and to work towards a better life for everyone. There should be a host of other individuals up here with me, volunteers like Mona at the Sexual Assault Center, and the staff that I work with every single day should be here as well. But the real heroes at the Sexual Assault Center are the girls, the women, the men, the boys, who come through our doors asking for help to begin the journey to heal from the trauma of sexual violence. We've worked with sister organizations and civil society organizations to advance our abhorrence of gender-based violence in Edmonton and across Canada. We recognize that some girls and women face compounded forms of discrimination due to factors such as their age, their ethnic heritage, community of faith, ability, sexual orientation, or socioeconomic status. As a feminist organization that believes in equality for all people, SACE has been key in making changes in Edmonton and indeed across the country. Did you know that we helped establish sexual consent laws for all Canadians when we brought a challenge to the Supreme Court of Canada? I'm so pleased that my partner Glynis, my son Mike, are here with me today, as well as many of my friends. But it's for my 2 granddaughters and my 3 grandsons that I want to make our world a better place. My sincere congratulations to the other Daughter Day Award recipients, and again, thank you to the committee for organizing this special event. And I take that something that I think it was Vivian who said at the beginning of this event about you never know where people will end up. Well, just earlier today, Nicole was reminding me that about 20 years ago, I had trained her as a volunteer at the Sexual Assault Center. So you just never know. So thank you.
Congratulations, Karen. Leslie Weigl. I hope I said that right. Bridging perspectives, building understanding, expanding viewpoints. A description of Leslie's effects on others. She's a transformational leader and educator in the international and local student community in Edmonton, where she facilitates engaging and inspiring workshops about intercultural understanding. Leslie's work has led to some very profound and life-changing insights for our participants. Leslie, you help us see and feel differently. Thank you. I would like to ask you to come to the podium to accept your award and say a few words, please.
Ooh. Hi, everyone. Thank you, Mona. I knew that today would be really special, but I didn't know I'd be crying and then smiling, then crying again. I have this little piece of red thread in my hand because it flew up into my face when the sisters were dancing earlier. And you know, it was one of those moments where you're just like, wow, how did I get here? And I was thinking a lot about Daughter's Day and how special this is. This is an award not for a person, it's an award for a relationship. It's an award for generations. And so, you know, I think of my family, my wonderful parents who are here, and actually a lot of the people I work with at the university, I work with students from Canada and all over the world, and they think I'm a little crazy, but they should meet my parents, because these two, outside of Edmonton, about an hour west, they're building a house. Oh, that's normal, building a house. No, they are building a house, like by hand, my parents, and with help when they need it, but it's pretty spectacular. So sometimes, you know, I work in International House. It's a residence on the U of A campus, and it's not just about building a house, it's about building a home for people from everywhere. And I'm so grateful to be in a place like Edmonton, where there's history of this place. Before any Europeans came, I think it was a meeting place for Indigenous peoples from all over. So it's just, I feel like I'm carrying this tradition. And that's why Daughter's Day is so meaningful to me, I think, because here we are in this moment. And in my work, I get to play a lot. So I wanted to share an experience that I had, because I think so much about community building, and I work with mentors. Many of you know my supervisor, Nancy Hanneman. Lots of you know Nancy, and I've had the privilege of working with her for 14 years. And Nancy lets me play. So I want to play with your imagination just a little bit, because 2 days ago, literally, I was playing with a group of students and colleagues from different places in the world, and we have a giant earth ball. So in your mind, I want you to imagine a giant earth ball. Think how big that might be. And I'm going to tell you, it's probably bigger, because this earth ball is actually 6 feet in diameter, okay? This is no small earth ball. And the reason we have it is that you can't play with the earth ball by yourself. It's like, you can maybe roll it, but it's not that much fun. So what you have to do is you get a group of people together, and you come together and you have to all work kind of hard to hoist up that earth ball. And this was the first time that we had enough people, and the weather was good, and we had enough space where we could actually play. So we had 2 groups, and I learned so much from this play. So a group would hoist the earth ball and be like, ah, sweating, you know, dirty, like lifting up this ball and working really hard together to throw it, okay? So we'd throw the earth ball, and then the other team would work really hard to come together. But what they had to do is be very, very soft. In order to catch the earth ball, you had to take a moment and be very soft together. Then you have to synchronize to launch that ball again. And it's this sequence that I've been thinking about, because it's, you know, how do we do things like this Daughter's Day? You know, work really, really, really hard, but then not forget that in the moment, here we are, and we need to be soft and with each other, because that's why we're working hard. And then we come together, synchronize, and we launch that world that we want. And so I'm so grateful for all of the people in my life who I get to work really hard with, get sweaty, dirty, cry, you know, laugh, and then open up, learn from each other, synchronize, and keep it going. So thank you so much, everybody. So much love.